You're listening to the Patriot Nation Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pats Nation Network. I'm your host, Matt St. Jean. Pat Lane is driving home from the game right now, so you're just getting me this evening. Coming to you live following New England's 33-15 Monday Night Football win over the New York Giants. An exciting game, an exciting start to this one. Can't wait to get into this. Before we do, just a reminder, this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. It is the holiday season, the best time of the year for sports. Bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes, it's all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, what game to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right. Prize Picks. If you just watched this game, you know how well Drake May and the New England Patriots are playing at the moment. We saw the defense making plays. We saw Marcus Jones on special teams, and this was an action-packed weekend across the NFL. A great weekend for football. We saw all those games. Thanksgiving, Black Friday, with the Bears making a push here. And, this is Prize Picks is a great way to get involved. You can win with your team by playing with them on Prize Picks. New feature alert, Prize Picks now has early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. Is your fantasy season already over? My team is cooked. But with Prize Picks, I don't have to wait until next year's draft. Prize Picks lets you play fantasy football every week. Pick your favorite players and win when they hit their projections every week. No draft required. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. And you know who is right? It's the New England Patriots tonight. They moved to 11-2. They sit atop the AFC here on December 1st. 11 wins for the first time since 2019. This is an unbelievable start for New England in a fantastic position for the playoffs here. We're going to get into it. Let me give you some big picture stats, though. And this is a 10-game win streak now that started in week 4 after they lost to Pittsburgh. That ties the third longest in team history. They've done 10-game win streaks 3 times before this. They did it when they got off to that 10-0 start in 2015. They did it from 2010 into 2011, winning the final 8 in 2010 and then the first 2 in 2011. This is regular season only. And they did the reverse from 2018 into 2019, winning the last 2 in 2018 and the first 8 in 2019. Of course, they had their 18-game regular season win streak from 2003 into 2004, and they had 21 straight from 06 into 08. So, this is up there with one of the best win streaks in franchise history. And these teams we're talking about, that 2015 team went to the AFC Championship game. 2010, they had the best record in football. In 2011, they go to the Super Bowl. 2018, they win the Super Bowl. In 2019, they're red hot at the start of that season. Then 03 and 04, they win Super Bowls both of those years. And obviously 06 AFC Championship, 07, they make it to the Super Bowl. So only one Super Bowl win in that group. A lot of very successful teams. And just for this group to be up there with them, you could talk about the schedule all you want. That certainly played a factor here. But the Patriots have played well game in, game out. There's been a couple games where they were a little bit down. Last week against Cincinnati, not their best showing. And they bounced back here tonight. And they've done that. They've put bad teams away. Or, look back to that game against Carolina, a game where it looked like they're putting a bad team away early in the season. That's the team that just beat the Rams, the Super Bowl favorite. So, the New England handling business against bad teams when they play them has been, I think, one of the more impressive parts about this season for them. This is something they had not been able to do the last couple of seasons. They've had easy schedules the last couple of years and haven't been able to make their opponents pay for that in any way. So huge step here for New England as they continue this. And this is your first home win on Monday Night Football since 2016 against the Ravens. Not a lot of home Monday night games in that stretch. The last time Monday Night Football came here was the Bailey Zappi, Mac Jones debacle against the Bears. We don't need to speak any more of that game now that we are firmly into the Drake May era. That game can be a relic of history as far as I'm concerned. But just doing this on a stage where the Patriots haven't done this since the Brady era. They're 11-2 now. That's the best start they've had to a season since 2016. I don't need to tell you how that season ended. So if the season ended today, the Patriots at 11-2 would have a first round bye, and would probably, I don't even know who they would end up playing, in a divisional home game. Playoffs are an absolute mess in the AFC right now, so I'd be curious to see how that shakes out, how these matchups look for Wild Card Weekend. And there's going to be probably a lot of good quarterbacks playing on the road on Wild Card Weekend is how it looks. So that'll be something to watch there for one that could be coming into New England. But let's get into this one. This game all starts like the first quarter is where this game is won. The Patriots win 33-15. They outscore the Giants 17-0 in the first quarter alone. They start the first drive of the game. It doesn't end in a touchdown, but you're able to, have a healthy mix of run and pass to get right down into the red zone pretty quickly there. 13-yard completion to Stephon Diggs, one of the big plays in that one. May finding Hunter Henry for a conversion on third down. That was a really nice play too, showing off some nice pocket movement. And then, Hunter Henry not open really in the first window, but because May is able to extend the play in the pocket and keep his eyes down the field, able to find him in that second window. Just one of the things that makes him so hard to defend. It's one thing to defend a receiver the first time they might be getting the ball, but to stay with them for another beat there is tough. And this is not a good Giants secondary. So able to punish it there. You do end up with basically a run stuff on first and goal. And then May throws behind Trevion Henderson in the flat on second and goal, just misses on the goal line fade. So right away, strong possession, but I think one of the concerns about this team is the red zone offense has not been as good as you would hope it would be. And I think some early concerns, all right? 3-0 when it could have been 7-0. You'd like to see things go better than that. Things get off to interesting start right away once the Giants and Jackson Dart get the ball. They do move the chains right away. Then Jackson Dart gets sacked on a play that starts getting a little bit chippy right off the bat in this one. Dart extends the play, sees Harold Landry coming in, smartly slides it to minimize contact, but he's sliding very late. Landry still hits him anyway because he's got nowhere to go. Clean play, but the Giants take exception because of Dart's history there. You get a little skirmish after the play. But that sack ends up setting up a third and long 2 plays later. And, Patriots able to force a check down. Kayvon Chasen makes a tackle on that one. And you're able to force a punt. And this right away is where the game turned. You're already up 3-0. Big favorites at home against a team that's been eliminated from the playoffs, has no defensive coordinator, fired their head coach, all this stuff. And the Giants punt right to Marcus Jones and decide they have no interest in covering that at all. I don't really know what was going on here. I don't really know what the Giants were thinking on this play, but they left wide open space for Marcus Jones to just coast. It was a pretty easy punt return touchdown. He breaks one tackle there, plea for the punter, and he is off to the races. So next thing you know, it's already 10-0 New England, and then things get turned up a notch. Couple of plays later, 2nd and 13 for the Giants after a false start. Jackson Dart scrambles, turns this into a 3rd and 1, but really I think one of the plays of the game here, this tone-setting sequence. Christian Ellis lights up Jackson Dart along the sidelines with a 2004 ESPN "You Got Jacked Up" era hit. Full speed hit, fully legal. Jackson Dart completely fine on it. Shoulder to shoulder contact with him inbounds. But Really, I mean, it's a blindside hit. Dart does not see him coming, and Alice is coming at full speed, and that's a big dude with a lot of speed behind him, and that hit goes the way you would expect it to go. Dart gets launched out of bounds. Immediately, Theo Johnson, tight end for the Giants, wants to defend his quarterback. He gets into it with Christian Ellis. That's a 15-yard penalty, and what could have been a 3rd and 1 turns into a 3rd and 16 because Dart doesn't protect himself, which has been an issue for him. And the Giants feel like they have to stand up to protect him and get a penalty in the process. So already 3rd and 16, that has no chance. Marty Mapu, in on the breakup on that one. They point to Marcus Jones again, who returns it for 17 yards. Who, by the way, at this point is now the NFL. That first punt gave him enough to be officially the NFL's history leader in yards per punt return. They punt to him again on the next punt. No idea why. They did not learn the lesson from the first one. He returns that 17 yards. Now the Patriots are starting at their own 39, and they just make it look easy. First play, May hits Kayshon Boutte over to the left side. You move the chains. Next play, Ramondre Stevenson. He gets 9 yards on the ground. Drake May QB sneaks it after that and picks up 3 on it because there's just an open gap. And then they go, this play was really nice. So they go into the huddle. You can tell, you can kind of see what's coming as they're calling it because the Patriots substitute and they go to that personnel grouping. They had Ramondre Stevenson in. They put Ramondre out for Trevion Henderson, who's your more explosive back. They put Jack Westover on the field, and they put Kyle Williams on the field. For anyone, if you watch the Patriots this season, this is their deep shot group. This is, Kyle Williams is a guy who's your deep ball specialist. And then Henderson is your boom bust runner. Westover is one of your blockers. This is who the Patriots put on the field when they are looking to take a shot, especially a play action shot. When you look at Drake May in the huddle, he calls out a pretty long play call sequence, and it looks like he motions something about 1 and 2 in there. So as they go to the line, my thought process is they have a play action shot play called out of this personnel, and May has the ability to alert or audible into just a run play if they don't get the look they want for the deep shot. Well, no audible comes. They get the look they want. It's, whether you want to call it a post-flood concept where the outside receiver Kyle Williams runs the post. Hunter Henry to the right side is going to run that sail route. And then you have, I think it's Trevion Henderson releasing into the flat. And Kyle Williams clears out the deep space. May pumps a little underneath. And Hunter Henry is wide open down the right sideline. May puts it right on him. That's a 36-yard gain. And next thing you know, the Patriots are already at the Giants' 3-yard line. And then they go, if you've watched the Rams this year, you've seen this a lot. One thing Matthew Stafford always likes to do, you go in there and you call, a play that's a run, but you have the option to just throw a fade off of it to one of your receivers instead. You see Aaron Rodgers do this all the time. For anyone who watched the Ben Solak video, this morning or yesterday, this is a Monday morning video talking about miscommunications with DK Metcalf and how they have, Aaron Rodgers calls them run solutions. Call a run play, but you have an option in there to throw a fade out of it to, the one receiver who's on the field. Patriots call one of those, and it's Kayshon Boutte on the fade. And he wins it. May places it perfectly, 17-0 Patriots. And in effect, that ends up being your ball game. It's near the end of the first quarter here. You're already up 17-0. You've started fights because you're hitting them so hard, and they only have 1 first down. They can't execute basic stuff. Pretty brutal. Things do start to turn in the second quarter. The Giants end up getting kind of 2 big plays in a row. One of them comes by penalty, 0 blitz, or cover 1 blitz. They throw it down the right sideline. Pass gets broken up to Theo Johnson, but Jalen Hawkins comes in, helmet-to-helmet hit on defenseless receiver. So that's a 15-yard penalty. Moves the chains on 3rd down. Next play, Patriots bring a blitz, don't cover properly out of it, and turns into a very quick touchdown, 30-yard touchdown pass. Darius Slayton running after the catch. So the Giants quiet the crowd here, make this a little bit interesting. And For the first time in the half, the Patriots end up going 3-and-out after this. Abdul Carter comes in for the first time after he apparently was benched for the first quarter. He picks up what goes down as a sack on 3rd and 1. On 2nd and 5, the Patriots go to Wildcat and run it up the middle with Ramondre Stevenson. They're looking for anything to get the running game going. He gets 4 yards, so successful run, sets up 3rd and 1, and they call, looks like a little, almost like a screen to Henderson to the right side. May doesn't like it. He decides he's going to pull it down and run instead, and Carter just has a good adjustment, sees May, tracks him down, and stops him for a gain of no yards. They don't pick it up, and you have to punt. So Giants end up getting a little momentum here, and it would look like they had something going. Move the chains, you get a bunch of runs in a row that end up being successful, including a 14-yard one from Devin Singletary. You get that weird sequence where Jackson Dart throws it down the field, or it's like an RPO and Jackson Dart takes it running and then reverses the field and throws it anyway with guys down the field. Just a little in over his head there. But they are able. Oh, and it was an awful punt, by the way. It was a 22-yard punt from Bryce Baringer. So Giants don't have to go very far, and they end up at the New England 29-yard line on 4th and 10. Jalen Hawkins with a nice breakup on a deep shot to Theo Johnson down the left sideline, setting that up. This sets you up for a very makeable field goal, which apparently was too much to ask of Younghoe Koo and the Giants, because he misses the ball. I mean, this was hysterical. I don't like it. I tweeted this out, but the funniest play I think I've ever seen in a Patriots game was when the Colts ran that fake punt in 2015 for no gain with no shot because they had the wrong guy and they just snapped the ball and everything. And that whole, the swinging gate, whatever it was. This is the closest I've seen to something matching that in terms of funniness on a national stage. I don't know how you missed the ball. That looked like me trying to chip around the green, but regardless, the holder then has to take the fall for it, and he goes down as a sack by Jeremiah Farms for him and a turnover on down. So Giants with a real opportunity there to get some momentum back and make it a one-score game in the second quarter. They can't do that at all. They give the Patriots good field position. Trevion Henderson picks up 24 yards on 2 carries, and all of a sudden the Patriots are in scoring territory. Keishon Boutte with a nice catch in there. After you have an offensive holding penalty, give you a manageable 3rd and long, 3rd and 9. And Kyle Williams, he gets a one-on-one. They try to press him. They miss on it, and he's fast enough to make you pay for that immediately. May sees it right away, drops it in a bucket. And we talked about this after the Tampa game. This is all he needs to be effective. Kyle Williams can change the game getting 1 target in that game, and that's what he did tonight. Deep catch down the sideline, Patriots in the end zone. This could have been a 17-10 game. Instead, it's 24-7 with under 3.5 minutes to go in the half. Just a brutal sequence there for the Giants, compounded on the ensuing kickoff. Gunnar Olszewski takes an awkward hit, goes headfirst into Christian Ellis, loses the football. He's very banged up on the play, went out, I believe, with a concussion, at least concussion protocol. So, yeah, former Patriot there, Gunnar Olszewski. Hope he's doing all right. Christian Ellis in on that hit, forcing the fumble. Elijah Ponder jumps on it, and the Patriots are immediately in field goal range again. It was Mapu and Ellis who combined for that forced fumble, and then a nice catch by Hollins on the next play, making a catch on a ball above his head in traffic on a quick pass from May, and then that sets up another field goal for New England. So you're 27-7. Giants get the ball, looking for a 2-minute drill here to try to salvage things a little bit going into the half, and it's that incompletion and then pass out of bounds, short over the middle, where Jackson Dart makes an incredible play. Out of structure, he's literally being sacked, jumping into his own guy, and is able to get it out to a receiver 1 yard short of the sticks. And on 4th and 1, down 27-7 on the road, your head coach has been fired. Your defensive coordinator has already been fired. You're eliminated from the playoffs. You have literally nothing to lose. And on 4th and 1 in a 2-minute drill, the Giants decided they were going to try to draw the defense offside, take a penalty, and then punt it. Unconscionable. I don't understand what you're doing there. You're down by 3 scores on 3 scores on the road against a team that's better than you. Your season's already over. You've got nothing to lose. If you go for it and don't get it, what's going to happen? You're going to lose. like your only chance to come back in this game is to go for it, and they don't do it. And then the Patriots get in gear. Drake May with this is your 1 minute drill. You've got one timeout. You got 1:07 on the clock. You're at your own 23. Quick hitter to Mac Hollins for 7 yards. Another quick hitter to Pop Douglas for 15 yards, and then the Giants decide to blitz him in the no huddle, and no one covers from Andre Stevenson. And May just rolls out, finds Stevenson. He runs for 36 yards. Another 9-yard pickup after that. You're in chip shot field goal range, 28-yard field goal. Tack that on before the half, and it's 30-7 at the break. I mean, this really spirals for the Giants quickly. What could have been a 17-10 game turned into a 30-3 game with a couple of bad plays and a couple awful decisions there. Things get a little bit interesting in the second half. The third quarter just flies by. Giants take a lot of time off the clock, 4 or 5 minutes off the clock. Decide to go for it on 4th and 6 in New England territory. You won't go for it on 4th and 1 when you're down 27-7, but you will go for it on 4th and 6 when you're down 30-7. Explain that to me. I know field position is different, but come on, look at the situation. Look at the big picture here. Jackson Dart passing complete, looking for Theo Johnson. Marty Mapu involved in that. Harold Landry getting the pressure on that. It's a turnover on downs. Then the Patriots take the ball and really run some time off the clock. Yeah, they go for it on 4th and 6. May hit Stephon Diggs for that one. They take it all the way down to almost 4 minutes left in the third quarter here, killing some clock before Andy Borregales misses a 45-yarder. Really, really rough miss there. That one had no chance. So the Giants get the ball back. And this is where the game does get interesting again for just a moment. They are able to rip off a couple runs, 7-yard run, 4-yard run, 9-yard run, 8-yard run, 4-yard run, driving just outside the red zone, and then a 22-yard touchdown run from Devin Singletary. And then they go for 2 and get it. So they make it 30-15 right there. Obviously, you're down at that point, especially the Patriots having 30 points. You know that you're going to need 3 touchdowns if you're the Giants, and 2 of them are going to have 2-point conversions. So might as well go for it early and find out what you need there. They go for it and get it. Awful run defense there. And I think there were a couple stretches in here where the Giants were able to run the ball. I think you felt the loss of Milton Williams. You felt the loss of Kyrus Tunga in those situations. Just some of the lack of depth on the defensive line. You could tell it was hurting them at those points. So all of a sudden it's a 2-possession game early in the fourth quarter, and the Patriots end up being forced to punt. Drake May takes a sack. And they're not able, they get 1 first down with a pass to Henderson. But after that, not able to move the chains. And, you're at the 41-yard line, but it's 4th and 8, a weird no man's land. You take the penalty and punt. So at that point, your defense does need to stop. The Giants were able to drive the ball on you on the first drive of the second half, but ended on a turnover on down. So they score a touchdown on the other one. Got a little bit of momentum. That gets blown up right away. Anthony Jennings comes in with a tackle for a loss on the first play of the next drive. Tyrone Tracy gets injured there. The Giants do move the ball a little bit, but Corey Durden getting involved here in a big way with some tackles. Christian Gonzalez with a great pass breakup on Wan'Dale Robinson along the left sideline. You didn't see a lot of Christian Gonzalez today. He had 1 hit stick in the first half. The Patriots were bringing the hit sticks tonight, and he had that pass breakup. They just didn't. You weren't going to throw his way all that often, and then Dart tries to run for it on 3rd and 9 and can't get it. Harold Landry tracks him down, and less than 8 minutes to go, 4th and 8, down by 2 scores. The Giants decide that they are going to punt the football. I don't get it. It's just unconscionable lack of aggression from a group that has literally nothing to lose. And the Patriots would put this game on ice after this. 12 plays, 58 yards, 5 minutes and 27 seconds off the clock. And it's, a 26-yard run by Trevion Henderson on the second play here that ends up being the big play. The Patriots get in a field goal range, make it a 3-possession game, and put this on ice. Worth noting here, the Giants were at their own 27 when they punted on 4th and 8. It took the Patriots 3 plays to get to the Giants' 24-yard line. So, your concern there with punting or with going for it on 4th down is if you don't get it, look at the field position. Well, if you punt it, that's going to be an automatic 2 minutes off the clock. The Patriots are going to run the football, and it takes them 3 plays to get the ball further into your territory than they would have had it anyway. If that's what your defense is going to do, don't let the other team have the football. You need to try to keep the football at all costs. So I just don't get the decision-making there. May does have a 30-yard touchdown pass to Hunter Henry in here that would have put him over 300 yards for the day that gets called back because of an illegal shift penalty, which is pretty brutal. And this is where the illegal shifts have gotten the Patriots this year. They have a lot of plays with motion in them. And a lot of times it's everyone gets to the line and gets set, and then you do the motion. And because of the timing of everything, if someone takes too long to get set at the line of scrimmage, once that motion happens, it's what's considered a shift, not a motion. So that means the differentiator there are motions when everyone's set and then one guy moves. A shift means that multiple people are moving at the same time. If multiple people are moving at the same time, all of them have to come to a complete set before the play can start. Because I think it's Ben Brown takes too long getting into his stance. Then when Hunter Henry moves, I think it's Henry, they're both considered moving at the same time. And because he's moving at the snap, the whole play comes back. So, something to clean up there. But it doesn't end up mattering too much. You're able to pick up a couple first downs. May does take a sack in here. But you just see against cover 0, a great 3rd down completion to Hunter Henry just to move the chains one more time, take more time off the clock. And you end up kicking a 23-yard field goal with 2:14 on the clock. 33-15, 3-score game. That game's out of reach. They end it a little bit later. You get a sack from Elijah Ponder, followed up with Carlton Davis pass breakup and Christian Ellis pass breakup on 3rd and 4th downs. Patriots get the ball back and kneel it out. That's a recap of this one. An exciting game. The energy was in the building for a game like this. Their second primetime home game against a team from New York this season. And it's just a great environment, and you take advantage of that early. And, I think one area where the Patriots have struggled situationally has been early in games, not able to build leads as early as they would have liked to. And today, not a problem. 17-0 lead. I think you'd like to see this team play from ahead like that more often. And with games coming up against Buffalo and Baltimore, 2 huge ones, you'd like to see this energy continue. I thought it was clear all night tonight. The Patriots wanted this game more. I think the running game could have done a little bit more, especially in the second half. Running the clock out of games is an issue for them, and that's something we're going to have to watch as they play better competition, especially in the playoffs. But I think they won the line of scrimmage on both sides. They had that they were flicking right on the hit stick all night long on defense and mauling guys on offense. Morgan Moses had a great block early. Everyone get involved, tackling. Corey Durden getting mic'd up, talking trash. So, the energy was there, and I think this is a great culture bounce back win after what was a kind of an ugly win against Cincinnati last week. So, love it when that happens. You talk about the situational play too. They have 6 drives in the first half. 5 of them end in scores. You would like for more of them to end in touchdowns. Only 2 offensive touchdowns in this game, both passes from Drake May. But You'll take scores where you can get them. Some other notes: Patriots swept the NFC with this one for the first time since 2019. I don't remember if I mentioned that before. So, really cool opportunity there. Love it when you do that. Yeah, and with this win, this means that the next time you take the field against the Bills, 2 weeks from now, less than 2 weeks from now, that's a hat and t-shirt game. You win that game, you win the division for the first time since 2019. The playoffs will be coming back to Gillette Stadium for the first time since 2019. Patriots, I believe, do not control their destiny for a first-round bye right now because they would lose the tiebreaker with Denver. So, rooting interest-wise, Patriots, win out, Denver lose one is kind of what you're looking at here, I think. I'm gonna take a look. The Patriots now entering a late bye. They need to get healthy. Well, Campbell won't be back yet, but hopefully Jared Wilson can get back. Garrett Bradbury playing through an illness tonight. If he can get healthy, Harold Landry's been banged up and almost didn't play. And this one, it sounded like Kairos Tonga didn't play. So getting healthy at some of these spots, I think, is going to be key. And one play I didn't mention: opening play of the game, opening kickoff. Terrell Jennings with a nice spin move to avoid a tackle. Breaks a run outside, and you get a really big return just to open the game. So some awesome plays in the return game, but he goes out with a head injury. So hopefully he's all right, but these are guys that you're going to want back. So good timing on the bye week here, a late bye. I believe the third time in 5 years the Patriots have had the week 14 bye. So, yeah, that's I can't imagine they're going to end up with something like that next year. All right, since the Patriots are in the playoff picture here, and Pat and I I'm sure going to talk about this later this week. I'm going to bring up the schedule for this week real quick, just to highlight, because there's some good games, and I'm sure we're going to talk about this later. But if we don't, Thursday night, Cowboys Lions, massive game for that race for an NFC wild card spot. The Sunday 1:00 slot, Steelers at Ravens, huge game for the AFC North. And Patriots still got to play the Ravens, so that'll impact what Ravens team the Patriots are going to end up seeing, what they're going to be playing for, how desperate they're going to be, and how healthy Lamar Jackson's going to be. That offense has not looked good. They did not look good against the Bengals. Also in the 1:00 slot, Colts at Jaguars. Jaguars now leading the AFC South. I will say I have been saying for a while how I thought that the Colts lead was not safe, and here we are. And the Colts still have road game at Jacksonville, road game at Seattle the week after, and they still have to go to Houston. I think they have one more tough game in there. This could get rough for Indy down the stretch here. Also in the 1:00 slot, if you're a real sicko, is Titans at Browns in the hunt for the top overall draft pick, and Bengals at Bills, which that Patriots can't clinch anything next week as far as I know. Maybe a playoff spot, not the division though. But if the Bengals end up taking that one, Buffalo, that makes things interesting in the AFC North. This is one that the Bengals basically have to win if they're going to try to make a run here. And for the Bills, if you lose this one and now you're at 5 losses on the season, their playoff hopes might start to be in jeopardy a little bit here because they still have to come to New England and they still have to play Philadelphia. So they have some decently tough games here down the stretch. Late afternoon for Patriots rooting interests. Broncos at Raiders. You expect the Broncos to win that one, but you never know. It's a divisional game. And then Bears at Packers should be very fun. The Sunday night game is Texans at Chiefs, which is massive implications for the AFC wildcard race. And then Eagles at Chargers, with also some pretty big playoff implications for Monday Night Football. So great slate of games this week. I am excited to just sit back, relax, and watch all of those. Wrapping up on this one, I got ups and downs for you. 3 up, 3 down. My ups, Drake May, obviously. Should have had his 300-yard passing game. Did not, but still ridiculously efficient. 0.31 EPA per play, which is 82nd percentile performance from him. He spread the ball out. 7 different receivers had 3 or more receptions in this one. And that doesn't include Kyle Williams with the long touchdown catch. And he was just, ruthlessly efficient, as we've seen him be. 24-31, 282 yards, sacked 3 times, but only for 6 yards, so you're not losing a whole lot there. No picks. He's keeping the ball clean. Kayshon Boutte and Hunter Henry end up being your leaders in receptions with 4 apiece. A whole bunch of other guys with 3. And May also picked up, he ends up getting 6 carries for 12 yards. It looked a little bit better than that before 3 kneel downs at the end there. So another amazing performance from Drake May. And after the way Matthew Stafford and the Rams looked, he might move ahead here in the MVP conversation. He might end up being the favorite when it's all said and done. I'm giving another up to Christian Ellis. Leads the team in tackles, leads the team with that moment, the hit stick on Jackson Dart early, setting the tone for this one, which was absolutely needed after last week. Helps force a fumble on the kickoff, and he ends up with a pass breakup on the final play for the Giants there. So he ends up putting the game away. Great game from Ellis. And then Marcus Jones, man, becomes one of 4 Patriots ever to have 2 punt return touchdowns in a season. He had the defensive touchdown a week ago. He has been, just a ball player. He is a football player. And what he means to this team, that extra 7 points today ends up being big for the way you're able to just conduct yourselves later in the game. And just awesome performance from him. He's great on defense. But he's worth the contract for what he does in the return game alone. I don't actually think he recorded a stat on defense today, which is crazy. I think he did get a pressure in there. They had him involved in the run defense a lot as a slot defender. I don't think he got any tackles out of it. The downs, because we got to do it. Jalen Hawkins, the Giants' first touchdown drive, he gets the penalty, and I think he's the one that blows the coverage and misses the tackle on the long reception. So back-to-back poor plays there. And Hawkins, I think, is a streaky player. He's up and down. He makes some really nice plays for you, and he's going to make some bad ones. I think when you look forward for the future after the season for New England, he's a valuable player that helps you win, and he's probably not someone you want to be a starting safety. And that's fine. He's been useful for them this year. He's had a good year, but tonight was not his best night. And my 2 other downs are both going to come in the kicking game. Andy Borregales with a really bad miss from under 50 yards. You just don't love that. He's still making his kicks at a pretty solid rate this season. I'm not going to get too concerned. But cold weather, longer kick. You'd like to see him make that one. You really could have put this game further out of reach earlier. And the kick really had no chance. It was no good right away, to the point where it was initially marked as blocked, because I think they just assumed that it hit someone the way it came off. And Bryce Baringer, man, he has not had a good season. He has not been one of the better punters in the league, and really rough punt when you're up 17-0. You give up the score, and your offense can't do anything the next drive. You're hoping for a good punt to pin the other team back. 22-yard punt in that situation is awful. So yeah, that's my 3 down. But I'm not going to end on a bad note here. Patriots 11-2, celebrating the win going into the bye, and we'll see you in 2 Sundays as the Patriots are set to host the Bills. It's been a game for the AFC East for New England. Fantastic season here. Mike Vrabel has these guys ready to go, and I'm excited to see how that game is going to play out. But yeah, that'll wrap it up for me tonight. Under 40 minutes here, so a nice, easy listen for everyone. For Pat Lane, I am Matt St. Jean, and I'm sure we're gonna see you later this week. Probably Thursday night is my guess during that Cowboys-Lions game. So can't wait to see you guys then. For now,